That was impressive. That was impressive. Hey, Luca, how do you like that? How do you like those new grips in the saddle? He says when he sits down, it's nice. Is that it?
Yeah. I'm not wearing a chamois.
Ladies and gentlemen, there has been one brand that has consistently had one of the top 10 best-selling grips and saddles for us at Worldwide Cyclery since the start of the company, and that is Ergon. And it's also the brand that I've had the most people give me feedback and love their products. I really wanted to go on a mission and dig into what makes them so special and held in such high regard for so many years, so consistently. So we got in touch with them, we got to speak to the owner, a whole bunch of people from over there. We also got to check out their 2020 product line, and I got to go out and test it on the trail with a couple of their pro racers, Strait and Luca Cometti. So I had a chance to meet the founder of Ergon, this big, tall German dude named Frank, at a bicycle industry event last month in Denver, Colorado. I just picked his brain a ton on why he started Ergon and what sort of drives him and his mission, and like trying to figure out how this company exists that does so much R&D and puts so much effort into every little detail of their product. And not to my surprise, German dude, crazy focus on details. It was actually super interesting. So he read an article in a cycling magazine in 2002 that had it was a survey with a bunch of replies from cyclists all over the globe about the most painful things about cycling. And they all said it was contact points, saddles and grips. So he started Ergon the next year with a mission to just solve that problem, to make people more comfortable on the bike. Ergon now, present day, has 20 people in R&D that are 3D printing and milling things and prototyping stuff constantly to just make pain points go away on your bike. It's totally fascinating. In talking to him, and I also got to speak with Alex, who's on the product development team over there in Germany, their attention to detail and just obsessive focus over every single little thing and the testing and thought that they put into stuff is just absolutely wild. One of the most unique things that they do is all of their grips, the rubber is so pure, it's made in Germany and to such a high standard, it's actually child toy grade rubber that you could eat and not die.
Not bad, but it needs a little bit of Ergon grip.
12 seconds later.
I just ate an Ergon grip and I feel great. Let's do this.
So one of the unique things that Alex said to me that really stood out is that they're trying to build products for each discipline of cycling that solves the specific and unique pain points that that discipline has. And it's pretty interesting. One of the cool things, like the new Enduro saddle they have, because bikes are getting steeper seat tube angles these days in the Enduro bike world, and you're basically pedaling somewhat of a downhill bike uphill, seat tube angles are much steeper. So this portion of the saddle rail needs to be longer, and this needs to be really sharp here so you can have a lot more maneuverability on this sort of thing. Also, you crash on an Enduro bike more than you crash on other bikes. So they put a special material all around the back side of the seat that is much more durable in a crash. So just little things like that. And talking about grips with him, where they're working with pro racers and coming to pro racers with 3D printed molds that are 0.1 millimeter different in different areas and seeing which ones the pro racers like, but then also utilizing sort of average riders as well to find this like perfect balance between what a pro loves and works well for him and what a general average rider works for as well. So super interesting, and you can see some of the stuff that Alex talked to me about on Skype and just the level of detail and obsessive focus this guy puts into their product development.
Everything has its own
difficulties and its own, points where it's really hard on your body. So we want to make it as good as possible for every single sport. For the Enduro biker, we have the GE1. We had the big team of ergonomics that is working with us to develop a way to make the rider more aggressive and actually find the right position on their bike. And the GA3, the one we have with the mini wing, even when going for a more enduro style ride, it still helps you a lot. We just love to get carried away, and with all the new, as I said, the ways of prototyping, it just makes it so easy for us to 3D print a new grip every single time and see it, touch it, feel it. Or with the saddles, we 3D print the shells, and then I can mill the padding on the CNC, and then I put the cover on myself, and I just go and ride.
Anyways, enough with Ergon's attention to detail. Let's get into some of their new 2020 products, and then let's show you guys some of the footage of me getting to ride with a couple of their pros, Rachel Strait and Luca Cometti, out on some of our local trails, which was awesome. I'm not going to go super in depth into all of their new product, but if you're really interested in the nerdy details, check the link below in the video description for a big long article with all of this sort of stuff. But to gloss over some of the highlights of the saddles, the SM Pros are still around. This is sort of the long-time top-selling Ergon saddle for us that people just absolutely love. It is definitely a very race-inspired high-end saddle. Something Ergon is doing new for 2020 is realizing that not everyone is a super racer and wants a saddle that is this hardcore. So they've come out with the SMCs. So this comes in a standard version at 70 and a gel version at 90, and it's much more tailored towards comfort. So in typical Ergon fashion, you have a men's and a women's version and a small, medium, and medium large. So this is a much more comfy saddle that is probably tailored a little bit more towards the general mountain biker out there if you're not a total racer. Awesome saddle, good price point for that particular type of saddle as well. Another thing that they've come out with, which I mentioned earlier in the video that a lot of their pro racers have been on and been working on the development, is the SME. So this is an enduro specific saddle. So a few different variants of it. That range from 80, 100, and 179. Once you get to the $80 price point, you get sort of the edge protection that they call it, which is that cool fabric that's around the whole back and side of the saddle to help this thing last longer through multiple crutches. You also get the oil slick rails at that price point, and then the highest end you get the titanium rails. So this is something again that they were wanting to put together like an enduro specific saddle. So something that you could crash on, get back up, wouldn't get torn, something that has a whole bunch of like exposed rail here, so it works on bikes with steeper seat tube angles these days. Really cool stuff. Oil slick, you will see it now on the rails of these saddles, which looks killer, and on the lock-ons on their new grips. Actually, funny story that Alex was telling me over at Ergon, they had oil slick on their pros, kind of custom sponsorship products for like 2 years, and then someone stole some from his bike, and he realized that people really wanted the oil slick color, so that's why they've introduced it. So pretty cool there. Ergon's got a big lineup. Another thing they have for you guys out there, they're still riding downhill, a killer downhill specific saddle that's got a bunch of grippiness on there, and now that comes with oil slick rails as well. So that's a little bit of an overview, but make sure to check out the article in the video description for even more detail on the new saddles from Ergon for 2020. Now let's talk about grips. All right, so Ergon 2020 grips. Surprisingly enough, our best-selling Ergon grip, and has been for a really long time, is the GA3. So this has a little wing on it. Don't panic.
I'm not gonna do what everyone thinks I'm gonna do. Flip out, man.
Some people really hate on these things and they think they look super funny, and they are not for everyone. But if you have ever had hand pain whilst riding, or perpetual hand pain while riding your bike and always get it, this is really a grip to look into. So this is the best-selling Ergon grip that we have, and the one that most people that I know who have had hand pain have tried this and fall in love with it and just live and die by it. So super impressive. When I saw these initially, just wing grips in general, I never thought they would ever really be a big thing. I thought it would always be kind of a niche market. False. For this to be such a top-selling grip for us has been really impressive, especially listening to what people say when they actually try these things. So if you have hand pain, this is amazing. Give it a try. What's cool about the GA3 now is they come in a larger diameter size, so a fat size. And that's just if you have a little bit larger hands. The GA3s traditionally only came in one size. Now they come in a larger diameter size as well. So another cool thing if you're considering these things, or if you already have a pair and you feel like they're a little too small, now they're coming in a larger size, the fat size for 2020, and a whole bunch of new colors. Also, GA2s and GA2 Fats, those things are still alive and well, and they're offered in a bunch of new colors these days for 2020. And my personal favorite, the GE1s. I love the shape of these things. This is a actual, there's a left and a right grip, and it has a very unique shape to it. Everything Ergon does that seems very subtle when you just look at these grips, but the closer you look, the more you see the angles and the strange little things and particular little spots they put things. In trying these things, at first when I looked at them, I was like, oh, those are kind of interesting, but they actually work really well. They have a good amount of padding towards the outside and a bit of a taper, and then they have sort of like a taper right here that helps your thumb fit in nicely. So these are my favorites, the GE1s. That's what I rode today. They come in with oil slick locks now and a bunch of other colors, and that's pretty much the highlights for 2020 Ergon grips. Now, let's get into some riding footage of myself and Ergon's two pros, Rachel Strait and Luca Cometti, out there on some of our local trails, which was awesome to do. Check it out. All right, so we're gonna film just some short climbing clips and then go to the downhill spot. That was impressive. That was impressive. Hey, Luca, how do you like that? How do you like those new grips in the saddle?
Oh, the grips are great. They help me get up the climb. Sure.
Just made it up that climb.
I didn't use the saddle though for the climb.
Oh, have you used it before?
But yeah, when I sit down, it's nice.
He says when he sits down, it's nice. Is that it?
I'm not wearing a chamois.
So should we ask Rachel if she wants to do the same thing?
Yeah.
You want to try and climb that? Sweet. Sending. How do you like that new saddle and grip?
I love it. I'm running the SM Enduro comp and the GE1 Ergon grips.
Wow. And they're amazing or what?
They're so amazing. I'm not so amazing at climbing apparently, but the grips are.
It's pretty good. It's pretty close. Closer than anyone else would have gotten. Nice work.
Thank you.
Good talk. See you later. Well, thank you guys very much for watching. Drop a comment below if you have ever tried an Ergon grip or saddle, or if you intend to. Make sure to check that link down in the video description to check out the blog article we wrote on all this sort of stuff and dig more into Ergon. It's a super interesting company, and I've never seen anyone like it, and I'm glad there's companies like it in the mountain bike industry that have such an incredible focus on making great products and pushing this industry forward, because you know a lot of the stuff Ergon's done over the last couple decades, everyone else has kind of just copied without doing the same research they did. So it's good that those companies exist to push the industry forward and give us amazing products. Hit that subscribe button, that thumbs up, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.